Bubbles. The dog. Please take a seat, sir. We're live on the air. It's all good. Please take a seat. You could. Oh, wait. Let me help you.
With the microphone?
Say my first
Thank
rodeo.
you.
Here we
Joe,
go.
thank you.
Hi, Bubbles.
Oh, you don't want to do that.
Hey.
Oh, my goodness.
You didn't ask for consent. She's very protective of her dad.
Okay, would you mind holding her in your other arm? Because if you do that, then we'll be able to see Bubbles.
Then she'll be further away.
No, because the microphone. No, because the microphone obscures Bubbles the dog.
Yeah.
Hi, Bubbles.
Yeah.
So, Bubbles bites? Bubbles a nipper?
Dogs can sense evil. No, she.
I'll accept that. I'll accept it.
I mean, that's a theory that I've heard. No, she was a rescue, and Sophia was the one who wanted a dog. Mm-hmm. I've never had a pet.
I remember you did not want,
because we went out to dinner with you and Susie right after we got her, and I was
Correct.
not. I was like, I traveled too much.
You were looking at a baby monitor the entire time, or your home monitor.
Yeah, we have like a baby monitor when we go out to dinner and leave her there. But now I have the EU passport. She has a European Union passport.
For the dog?
And then she has a little ID, like a service dog ID. Wow. So I can take her anywhere. Legally, you can't throw her out of any restaurant.
I love it.
Yeah.
By the way, those dogs are very protective. The smaller,
dude,
they pick somebody.
Bubbles didn't draw blood, but I definitely got a little something on the middle finger. Interestingly enough,
very protective.
They picked someone. So Sophia wanted the dog.
Yep. Wow.
But the dog picked me. Like, she had her cousins, her girlfriends over. Look, it's the dog reveal party. I don't know, whatever that is, So everybody's there in the backyard. And I had forgotten. She's like, Joe, come meet the dog. And I was like, oh, the dog. Oh, no, we're doing the dog thing. That's right. I'm going to have some little yappy thing that, it's going to drive me crazy.
And now?
But she picked me. These dogs pick one person, and then that's it. And they don't want anybody else. And they defend you. And then they alert you when people are coming towards you, and and they weigh under 5 pounds. Yeah, it's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
All right, so Joe Manganiello is here on the Rich Eisen Show, as our Peacock audience sees, and we're back here on our terrestrial radio audience, rejoining us here on NBC Sports on Peacock and NBC Sports Audio, SiriusXM Channel 85. Sidney Crosby, The Rookie Year, is a new Audible original, and it's created and written by the stud Sidney Crosby himself, and the narrator is Mr. Pittsburgh Sports, the actor and producer Joe Manganiello, here on the Rich Eisen Show, along with Bubbles, the Chihuahua, tucked into his right arm like a football.
That's my Heisman. Yeah,
I
have to go the other way.
And I made the mistake of walking over and giving Bubbles a pet, a little, and she. So do I have to approach in any way, or she will always do that?
She has the temperament of James Harrison. She looks little. She's aggressive.
And she'll pick off Kurt Warner at the best possible times.
For
you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just said that, Kurt. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man.
Great seeing you.
Thank you for bringing your dog.
Well, I want to say the Sidney Crosby Rookie Year is written by Neely Loman.
Oh, because it says created and written by Sidney Crosby.
Well, Sid is a huge part of it, obviously, and he was interviewed. His parents were interviewed. Coaches, his old roommate, Mario Lemieux, was also interviewed.
Yes.
So it's kind of this look back, this kind of walk through his life during that rookie season. And what you don't understand, or what you get inside of, is just how he was a child star. At age 7, there were people calling the house asking about this kid.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Come on.
And all of the pressure of growing up in Canada, kind of the weight of growing up in these kind of like mariner communities, these small fishing villages in eastern Canada, and being the pride of his town, and then coming up and being drafted when he was 17 as the next great one, turning 18 years old shortly thereafter, and then Lemieux stepping in and saying, "You're 18 years old. I don't want you to have to worry about living alone, figuring all that out. Come live with me and my family and my kids in our house." And so he lived with Lemieux his first
What was that like?
rookie season.
You know any stories about
Well, all the
that
other
one?
guys wanted to come over and visit. They're like, "You live at the owner's house? Like, I'm coming over." You know?
Right, sure, right.
But yeah, no, and then we get into it, and Lemieux talks about it. Sid talks about it. Sid would go down in the basement and play mini sticks with the kids every night, like because he was a kid.
Yeah.
And you watch all the pressure put on him and the target on his back during that first season, and it's really extraordinary what he went through. And obviously, looking back, what it meant to Pittsburgh on the verge of bankruptcy, being threatened to be moved out of town. Lemieux steps in, liquidates all this money that they owed him. They owed him $30 million, and he took that in a controlling interest in the team. And then there was a lockout season, which means there's no draft order, and the Penguins won the bingo lottery. And got this kid that gave us nothing but sellouts for the next 17 years and kept the team in town.
We've got some photographs on the screen as you've been telling the story. What he looks like. He was a child.
He was a kid. Yeah, he was a kid.
Just seeing him here in these photographs, what a child.
In chapter 4, for example, is his first trip to Philadelphia, and everyone's screaming, "Crosby sucks."
Yeah.
And they bash his teeth out illegally. He comes back into the game and scores the winning goal. So it's just, you couldn't script any of this better. I mean, being kept off of the Olympic team by Wayne Gretzky, none other than the man that he was compared to, and said he was the next Gretzky. Gretzky keeps him from that initial Olympic team that everyone believed he should have been on. And then 4 years later, the Olympics are in Canada. He gets on the team and wins the shootout against the U.S. Like, it's just... The story is just incredible the way that unfolds, but you don't realize how much pressure is on these kids. I think sometimes people, they're probably accustomed to like LeBron's story.
Right.
When you're chosen at this young age where they actually have the metrics and know this kid's going to be something. I mean, at 7 years old, he was beating kids who were 12 and 13. It was really incredible.
Audible original, Sidney Crosby, the rookie year, Joe Manganiello, who narrates it right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Everyone should. It's fascinating. That is fascinating, and I'm sure you were like a kid in a candy store.
Sure. It's really well done too. Yeah, and the way that they set up the audio, and there's 8 chapters, so they all unfold one after another, and it's everyone involved with the entire story.
So you mentioned kid in a candy store. Are you the kid outside the candy store looking in and seeing Russell Wilson as a Denver Bronco right now? I mean, like, as a Steeler fan on a day like today where Rodgers stays put and the Broncos mortgage the immediate future,
right?
What are you thinking now that Big Ben's retired?
No, I never thought we were going to get those guys or go after those guys. Because the cost is too much.
So what?
But we're 2 years away. We're not a just out of quarterback and win the Super Bowl team. I don't think we are. I think we need. I mean, when you have 3 All-Pro offensive linemen retire in the same year,
right?
You got to retool. And then, of course, Tuitt misses a season. Alualu gets hurt. Now you're 2 defensive linemen down. Our linebackers inside linebackers didn't pan out last year. Now we're 2 inside linebackers away. If Joe Hayden leaves, now we're a shutdown corner away. Those are a lot of pieces at every level, let alone the fact that I'm not sure if we have a clear number 1 wide receiver. So, I mean, those are big. We're a couple of years away. And so you could plug in a Rodgers or a Wilson, but who's going to block for him? And last year was, an interesting year coming into the draft because I think they were trying to surround Ben with weapons in case this was the last stand, the last push for him,
right,
for his window. And what happens was I think there were some decisions made that, we could have wound up with future Hall of Fame linemen who were available when we were picking, but we were making choices, I think, based upon winning now. To me, I want to be competitive. And of course, this is an organization that likes to be competitive every year, but I just think right now we have to look at it as there's 2 years. I think in 2 years we can retool if we're smart and we do it right. And we have a great, we have a lot of cap room, and I think to give all that away for a quarterback without an offensive line is really difficult.
So that's a very sensible take, Joe.
Yeah, well,
It's a very sensible take.
I think the Steelers' next quarterback will be somebody that they find in the draft. It's not going to be a.
So it's like a sophomore in college, a junior in college right now. You think is the next big Steeler?
Hopefully, it's not somebody in kindergarten because between Bradshaw and Roethlisberger were 21 years. Granted, we could have had Dan Marino. but we didn't.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, get in line. There's somebody, my team chose Ken O'Brien instead of him.
everybody did, yeah.
I know that's what happened.
Yeah.
I know that's exactly what happened. And so, I just don't know. I mean, it's possible they could choose Kenny Pickett, 20th overall. I mean,
Speaking of the ghost of Dan Marino, yes,
That's
the
what I'm
next pick
saying.
quarterback. And I kind of wondered about the hand size thing, if that was like the Dan Marino marijuana thing. You know what I mean? like it's how do we get him to drop
Well,
in the draft so that the Steelers can get him at 20?
I'm going to say what just popped into my mind. I'll say it. You can't hold a joint with 8.5 inch hands. It's very difficult. So
Like a
you don't
roach.
have-
You
You
can
don't
hold
have
a-
that problem.
You can hold a roach,
You
maybe.
can't-
yeah.
It's very difficult to do that. I did just say that. But that is, I don't think that's a big deal, the 8.5 inch hands. I know, but I know, I mean,
If you didn't
He
know
looked
those
pretty damn good in
measurements, look
Pittsburgh.
at how good he is on film. If you didn't know that, you wouldn't. It doesn't
honestly,
matter.
here, put up the photograph, Hoskins, that we've been using of him lately. It's just, we've used this photograph, and then I didn't think about it at all, ever. And then I find out that his hands are 8.5 inches large, and then all of a sudden I see the photograph. I'm like, those hands do look a little small on the football.
Does he drop the ball a lot?
No,
I don't
he
know
doesn't.
where this is headed.
He doesn't. He doesn't at all.
Like I said, I don't
Like-
want to ruin anything if this means he drops to 20 and is maybe available.
I mean,
but,
like
know,
right there. Coming out of the combine, it's like, you know what? Like, look, see the hands right there in the football in his hand? It just does it. I don't know.
And I haven't pulled out the tape measure, but 8.5. How? I mean, that's pretty.
I think it's like my hand.
That's,
I don't know. I didn't measure my hand either.
We have a tape measure for Joe.
But your hand is definitely not 8.5 inches.
No.
Your hand is much larger than that.
yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Joe's got the Ryan Leaf paw right there.
Yeah, no, but when you do,
10.5 inches.
seriously, when I normally shake hands with an NFL quarterback, their hand or like their index finger will reach up to where my wristwatch is.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's the way it is. I did not meet Kenny Pickett at the combine. I just think I didn't think about it at all watching him play in Pittsburgh. Then you hear it and it's just like, well, I don't know. There's nobody who has hands like that. Michael Vick was the last first-round draft choice who had hands that were just 8.5 inches.
Is that right?
Large. Yes.
He did okay.
These are facts.
He did all right.
He did all right. Yes,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
So would you 20th overall if you come away with him?
Oh, boy.
Because you just mentioned all
I know.
of the, we need this, we need
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
we got this. And Kevin Colbert is leaving his current position as general manager.
Yep.
Daniel Jeremiah, who sat next to me for the combine, was talking about how he's saying in many ways, I think it was him or somebody else told me, that Colbert would like to leave the team with their next quarterback, similar to Ozzie Newsome, who is still around. I did see him at the combine.
Sure.
But I mean, what do you think about all that?
I mean, if he's available at 20, I mean, it becomes a Najee Harris situation, I think, where you're hard-pressed to let it go or let him pass by.
Right.
Because you could be looking at a starting quarterback. With that said, it's almost like, I mean, oh boy, I'd love to see some big stud offensive lineman first round. You know, what's the Trevor guy, the big one from northern Iowa?
Yeah, right.
Who just
Penning, right?
Yeah, like throws.
I don't think he's
throws
lasting at
first
20.
round picks around
like he's out of the club.
He'll be gone.
Yeah.
By then. Yeah, I'm sure.
Right.
But I mean, there's such a talented draft. I mean, the combine was wild this year. Seeing 340-pound guys run 4.7s and
Right.
things.
I know. There is
freakish.
I don't know. We haven't talked about it yet. There is a Nebraska center named Cam Jurgens, and he makes his own beef jerky, and his nickname is Beef Jurgens. He makes his own beef jerky.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean he's a terrific center. You know,
I like
don't-
jerky.
You know, there you go.
Yeah.
But that's who you. I don't think you're talking. That's the Northern Iowa kid that you're talking about. I think,
Yeah, the
something
big
like
that monster.
I
Yeah.
think you're. I don't think he's going to. I don't. Who the hell knows? Because there's so many great defensive players.
Yep.
There's those two Ohio State wideouts. There's a couple of those offensive linemen.
You can solve
and
some offensive
linebackers.
line problems in free agency, and we have money for like the first time in a long time. I mean, we really got messed up because of that COVID cap last year, but I think we're back on track this year. I mean, we have to pay Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yes, you definitely do.
For sure.
Right.
But past that, maybe we could get some journeyman offensive linemen in the first round. Maybe there's a great D lineman who runs faster than our wide receivers. That's available.
How's Bubbles doing? How's Bubbles getting through this right
She's
now?
taking a nap right now. She's not really. You see, so this is an interesting game to play
With
at
your-
home.
with your Chihuahua?
Yeah, when I watch the Steelers, because I'm used to screaming and swearing at the TV and pacing and yelling
Yes.
and trying not to put my fist through the TV screen.
Well, this year on
She
occasion.
doesn't. She doesn't go for that at all. So it's kind of like I have to.
Okay.
You know, like that. You got to hold it in, even though you want to scream at the top of your lungs.
But so is she always in your arms or in your lap? Like literally
There
all
are
the
days
time?
that go by where she doesn't touch the ground.
Well, because we know that, like, honestly, Joe, you know, we see photographs on your Instagram every now and then, and you know, it's just this dog has been everywhere.
Yeah, she
Right?
just got
I mean-
back from 4 months in Ireland. She lived with me. Oh,
There you go.
we're at the Independent Spirit Awards.
There you go. We saw, with the
There's-
Spirit Awards.
there's her
That's
uncle,
Is
Nick.
that your bro right behind
Yeah,
you?
that's my brother, Nick,
that's
in the background.
Manganiello, the very
Independent Spirits.
Okay, there you go.
She was really happy for Simon Rex. She really thought Red Rocket was a great film. She loved Florida Project, so she's a big fan of the filmmaker. She was happy about that
Joe,
one.
can you believe what your life has become with this animal? I mean,
Yeah.
like, you know,
Well, a buddy of mine said to me,
you were a jacked werewolf, like, you know what I mean? You were almost another super, like, come on.
yeah, well, somebody,
You're
one
walking
of
around
my
with a
friends said to
5-pound
me that this is how Mickey Rourke happens. I said, well, no, I don't think that's how it happened. Okay, but there's similarities, but yeah, but
Look,
no.
this dog is dead asleep right
Yeah,
now.
she's passed out. She's wearing a little, her dad found out he
Yes.
was 20% Irish with 23andMe.
Okay.
So,
Oh, really? When'd you
I'm
find
Irish.
this out?
Yeah, I found out, I found out last year.
When you were in Ireland?
Before I went to Ireland, so
Okay.
the show Finding Your Roots on PBS,
Yes, of
I
course.
will be in an upcoming, they're editing my episode right now.
Fantastic.
They spent 10 months working on my genealogy and uncovered like a secret that everyone went to the grave with.
I got it. You're deep. You're from a family of Browns fans. No?
That would be tough.
You just broke into a sweat right there.
Yeah, that'd be tough. I mean,
Joe, I hate to break it to you. We found out your great grandfather
was
was
Paul
a
Brown.
diehard Browns fan.
Was Paul Brown? Yes.
Otto Graham.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So you okay?
No,
that's it.
yeah, and we uncovered the secret. So it will in an upcoming episode of Finding Your Roots, you'll find out
fantastic.
where that came from and how and which side of my family.
What else you got going on? You always got about 15
What I
things
have going
cooking.
on? Well, there's the upcoming Metal Lords from DB Weiss. We call him Dan
Yes.
in my Dungeons and Dragons
Come
group.
on.
But he wrote this amazing movie for Netflix called Metal Lords, which is about a group of kids, not often represented, who are in a death metal band trying to win the Battle of the Bands at their high school. And it's this heartwarming, like really fun, great young high school kid movie about kind of the tropes and archetypes you don't often get in those types of movies.
Okay.
Super fun, great music. Tom Morello does all the music. There's some great cameos from huge rock stars in it. And the kids are so good. Like you will fall in love with these kids. So that's coming out soon. And Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead anime series will come out, and then
Fantastic.
I've got a couple other things that I'm actually writing right now.
Okay.
That hopefully I'll be able to announce soon because they're they're like dream projects of mine that I've been working on for a year that I haven't been able to talk about.
Okay. As you know, we're always here for
Yeah,
you. Whenever
I'll
you
come
got
back.
anything coming up. And just for anybody out there in our Peacock or SiriusXM or terrestrial radio audience, we're used to hearing it. But yes, Joe Manganiello is in a Dungeons and Dragons group. And one of the members is one of the creators of the Game of Thrones television series, D.B. Weiss, Dan Weiss, right? And
Dave Benioff played.
he's in it too?
Yeah. So actually,
So the people who brought Game of Thrones to life on HBO are Dungeons and Dragons members of your group.
they grew up playing it. I mean,
makes sense.
which is what the show became.
Sure.
Yeah. And yeah, so they play characters in my show. every week, or the adventure. They don't have to write. They just have to show up, and they get to play their characters, which is really fun.
Right, which is like with the 25-sided die and stuff like that.
20-sided die, yeah.
20-sided die.
Rich,
You gave 5 too many sides. And does your wife still refer to you guys as the nerds? Does she refer to you guys as the nerds still?
I prefer intellectual.
Does Bubbles make it into the Dungeons and Dragons room?
Bubbles sits on my lap while I run the games and just takes a nap. She just goes.
So you're the Grand Master? Is that what it is?
Dungeon Master.
Dungeon Master. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of you. You seem like I'm making fun of you. I'm not doing
I
that.
mean, there's a little bit. You were close enough to 20. I think you knew it was a 20-sided die, but you went 25 to try to hide your tracks.
If I only had my cloak of invisibility on right now.
There it is. Okay, there you go.
Just get in the game. Just get in the game.
I know.
Just
But
get in the game.
I get destroyed in 2 seconds. Like I'd be dead. I'd be dead before I hit the floor.
We'll walk you through it. I mean, and you
What do you
could
mean walk me
make
through it?
the greatest character ever, Rich.
Like what?
Whatever you want to do. What do you think? You cast spells? Do you fight? Do you do a little bit of both?
I never really thought of it.
That's good.
I'm a spellcaster.
That's a good.
I do that every day.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
The Rich Eisen Show audience is spellbound every day.
You could throw flames, like hot
fire.
takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fireballs.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Lightning bolts,
But
fireballs.
why wouldn't anybody create the most powerful character of all time?
Because you start off as like a little tadpole, and then you have to grow.
But that
you have
takes
to live.
time.
You have to grow. Yeah,
takes
but that's
time.
the fun of it. You're on an ongoing series. You're in Game of Thrones. You used to come to our Game of Thrones parties every week. This is your chance to be on the show. Who do you want? You want to be the Mountain? You want to be Jon Snow? Who do you want to be? Want to be Daenerys? Whatever you want, Rich.
Showing up and having, and drinking and watching TV.
If George Martin came to play, would you come on?
Yes.
Would you be, okay.
I talk Jets with him. He's a diehard Jet fan. I talk Jets with him. So are you
Joe
saying
spinning
George?
his wheels.
Wait a minute.
They were supposed to. COVID hit, so we had to stop playing live because
Yes.
COVID hit.
There's a Zoom
but,
Dungeons and
but
Dragons?
George was going to come over. Yeah, then we started doing it by Zoom. Yeah.
How do you? So you roll the die on Zoom, and is there just like?
So there's a program where I put up the map, and each character can only see what you can see. So if you have like night vision, you can see, I program how far you can see. Or if you have a torch, it flickers, and you can see how far. And you can only see what you can see. So sometimes people in the Zoom are like, "Oh no!" And you're like, because you can't see it. What happened? What happened? Get up here, and then you have to get into a fight.
Okay.
So I have the map up here, and then we have Zoom over there, so we can see each other.
Ballpark it for me. What's my time commitment if I start this process? Ballpark. What is it?
Well,
What's my time commitment?
this is like, hey man,
What's my time commitment?
If you were like, hey, I wanna deadlift 600 by next year, are you like, what's my time commitment before I deadlift 600, Joe? And I'm like, well, I don't know, Rich.
Well, I gotta eat right.
Let's get in there and see where you're at, and then we'll go from there.
Is it offensive that I'm asking for what the time commitment is? I should just want to hang out, right? Like that's the way it should be.
But that's what it is. It's like a lot of us were poker players who, when we were kids, played this game,
right?
And so when we were kids, when you're a kid, it was like you'd play 12 hours. Your mom would make English muffin pizzas. You go to sleep, you wake up, and start again. That was how it was. So now it's like we get a food truck. I have the food truck come to the driveway. We all eat, we hang out, and then we go. And honestly, I would, it's like, guys, it's midnight. Who has to be up tomorrow? Anybody? No, I do, but let's go. And then now it's 1:30 in the morning, guys, and then 2:30. You want to keep going. So it's a thing. Like it could be 3 hours hanging out. These guys, they like to go 7.
7.
They like to go 7. Yeah.
I already established last hour as you're making your way down here. I only wait 10 minutes for friends. That's it.
I don't think Rich is a good fit for this show.
Come on. This is, you don't know who's in my group. Big Show. You ever hang with the Big Show? You ever have him on the show?
Big Show.
The Big Show from wrestling.
wrestler.
Paul White.
Oh, sure, yeah.
The
Largest
giant.
man you've seen.
He loves D&D. He used to fly in from Florida every weekend to play.
I'll come in.
So Big Show, you've got a CrossFit champion who you've met,
Okay.
my former trainer, Ron, CrossFit champion.
Does Vince Vaughn play with you, Joe?
What's that?
Vince Vaughn, does he play with you?
Vince Vaughn, yeah. You've got James Gunn used to play. Taron Killam from Saturday Night Live, very funny guy, Rams
Diehard
fan.
Rams fan.
Yeah,
He's a very
yeah,
happy guy these days.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we have. I'll text you.
Okay. Linebacker Cassius Marsh, he's going to make a character.
Oh, wow.
Last time I saw Post Malone, he wanted to play. So maybe, I don't know, we get Posting in
Post
there with
Malone?
you. You ever meet Post? Yeah, he's Cool,
some
dude.
beer
He
pong?
plays Magic cards. I play Magic with Post. Yeah.
Amazing.
Damn.
All right, I'm in.
You know what? Cassius Marsh.
I'm in now.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Cassius Marsh, he created a character that taunts the other side by just
Right.
looking at them.
There's the
Right?
But it's just staring.
Just staring.
It's just looking.
And then-
You imply what you want to imply.
Yeah,
Right.
Tony Correnti's character hip check.
I know. He's the dungeon master, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Everybody check out the Audible original Sidney Crosby, The Rookie Year, narrated by Joe Manganiello. Take care, Joe. Thanks for bringing Bubbles, man.
She's sleepy.
Jeez. Fantastic. An entire interview and appearance with Bubbles and like the Duke, 4 points of pressure. What are we teasing going to break, sir?
we are teasing Aaron Rodgers has spoken.
You want to take a phone call? You want to do that? Sports Talk Radio. Let's do it. You want to open his microphone, Mike? The man stayed around with his dog. My gosh. Doug in North Carolina has been waiting an hour, almost 2 hours. What's up, Doug? You're on with Doug. You're on the Rich Eisen Show with Joe Manganiello and Bubbles the Chihuahua. You on?
Yes, hey, Rich, I'm here. I just wanted to let you know that I may be the only one in America who will say this. Aaron Rodgers is the most overrated athlete of all time.
Wow.
He beats up on one division, 3 teams twice a year, and then goes about 500 the rest of the season, gets into the playoffs, and people wonder why he can't win. Well, the reason is he's just a slightly above average quarterback. And I disagree with you. I think the Broncos said, do we want Wilson and Rodgers? It's not that Rodgers rejected the Broncos. I think the Broncos chose Wilson over Rodgers.
Well, I'll push back on that one, Doug. You know, and say he's generationally talented, and outside of those 6 games that he plays, there was some time where Chicago actually performed pretty well. He's won 13 games the last 3 years from age 35 on with a new coach. So I'll just push back on you on that.
Well, tell me a Hall of Fame playoff quarterback. Tell me a Hall of Fame quarterback that he beat in the playoffs. He couldn't beat Kaepernick. He couldn't beat Kurt Warner. Arguably, I think he beat Eli once, but when he faces a good quarterback in the playoffs, he
Joe,
loses.
hold on a second. Joe, you want to handle that one?
I mean, I don't want to say this because I was at that game and it was like the worst night of my life. But he won Super Bowl 45 against Ben Roethlisberger.
Yes, he's going to the Hall.
I mean, and Ben's going to be first round.
Well, I appreciate the call, Doug. Thanks for calling in, and appreciate you hanging on for as long as you did.
I hated that game. God, and the blizzard, everything about that.
Yeah, that was a wild week with the snow.
Cab drivers were drifting
Well, it's
into
because
parking lots
Dallas was
on
not.
the ice.
I knew we were in trouble when I saw the Metroplex as we were we went in the snow in a blizzard to the media day because it wasn't media night yet on a Tuesday, and I saw this huge next to the stadium, huge pile of sand, and I'm like, "What's that for?" And the driver, who's local, said, "That's what we put on the roads when it gets icy," and I'm like.
No.
You put sand on the
You need
road?
salt and you need trucks. There's no ice trucks.
That's it.
Yeah.
I know we were all of us from the East Coast were like, sand.
Yeah.
this ain't
Sand.
That ain't working.
Remember Raising Arizona?
That's right.
I ate sand.
That's right.
You ate sand?
What are you going to call it? You're going to buy a couch from Unpainted Huff Hines?
You blow up in all kind of funny shapes? Not unless you think round's funny.
Back here on the Rich Eisen Show Terrestrial Radio Network. Joe Manganiello is still here. Okay, so what do we got? Aaron Rodgers has
tweeted, everybody.
Let's check it out. Hey, everyone, just want to clear some things up. Yes, I will be playing with the Packers next year. However, reports about me signing a contract are inaccurate, as are the supposed terms of the contract I signed. I'm very excited to be back. # year 18.
So we did a handshake.
I don't know.
We didn't sign. We just shook hands.
I don't know what that means.
Hold on, I'm trying to see if people were reporting that he actually signed.
I don't know.
Ian's language was agreed to terms.
Yeah. I don't know who's saying that they signed, so.
Nobody has said signed, but
I don't know. I don't know.
okay.
Look, there's something going on with Devontae Adams, right?
Yep.
Like he's got to get that guy signed long term.
Yep.
He, meaning
Aaron
Gutekunst,
Oh,
and Aaron Rodgers, he needs him signed long term too. Like he's
Correct.
got to bring his own. Like he's not going to sign a monster deal, and Devontae doesn't. get his long-term deal? Like
That
that's
was actually
not
a
something
great first take
countenance.
topic this morning, Rich. Does Aaron Rodgers need Devontae Adams to be a top 5 quarterback?
He needs to. Of course, any quarterback needs somebody to throw to who is incredible to make you a top 5 quarterback. He's got the. Do you know how many top? How about this?
That's why it was.
How about this?
On first take.
Did Matthew Stafford look like a top 5 quarterback this year?
Yeah, at times.
At times, right?
He threw a lot of picks, but yeah.
Did he look like a top 5 quarterback since Calvin Johnson was gone?
Not really.
You need to, you know what I'm saying? Like you need to have someone to throw to.
But also when you say things like
twisted way of
people
looking
come
at it.
to Green Bay because they want to play with me, therefore I want to be consulted. I want to be brought into the fold.
Yes.
Okay. Well, get him signed. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a
Right.
bit of that when you come out and say that. Then okay, well, where's all the guys coming? Where's the Tampa Bay team that signs for a year around you to push you over the top and get you that Super Bowl in Green Bay? Let's go.
Right. Although I'll say this though, I mean, Devontae Adams. There's something going on. Like Devontae Adams didn't want to come back to Green Bay if Aaron's gone, right?
Right.
You would think.
I mean,
And
well,
Aaron is like, part of the reason why I want to stay here. Obviously, the money's pretty darn good. Devontae's coming back, right? I mean, why would he want to stay and not have the greatest receiver in the game with whom he has a sixth sense there?
Yeah.
So this all has to be figured out. Somebody's got to go first, though, right? They can't just say the deals are all this and in 3, 2, 1, everybody sign at once.
Right.
Like, go. Like there has to be somebody has to go first.
But I think there's also something to be said for chemistry in the NFL. There's 11 players on each side. If 2 players have chemistry, like a quarterback and a wide receiver, you see it happen all the time where it's like the dog with the bone in their mouth that sees the reflection of the dog with the bone and thinks, I want 2 bones, and they wind up with 0. You see that happen so many times where these players go and move somewhere thinking they're. Look at OBJ. Look at what it took for him to get back on track with a quarterback that he had chemistry with. You ruin the middle of your career. If you don't look at AB. I mean, these are you kind of never get back on your footing. And if you're a wide receiver that has a great quarterback chemistry, stay.
What about the dog that falls asleep in his father's forearm? What about that dog?
You sign that one to a long-term deal,
Definitely.
Rich.
Yeah. Bubbles is locked, right?
5th-year option. Yeah, well, she's still on a rookie contract with me. Actually, no, she
Look at this dog.
She was a trade.
Twitter reports that Tyler Lockett might also be on the move.
Jeez.
Tyler Lockett.
Go to your Seahawk fan in your life and give that person a hug today. Joe Manganiello and Bubbles hanging out. Words I never thought I'd say before.
She heard her name. She just perked up.
Bubbles, can you hear me, Bubbles?
Nah, she's back to sleep now.
I see you. Final poll results, Christopher. Actually, let Joe vote on them and give us the final results.
Okay.
Go for it.
What do we
Okay,
got, Chris?
Joe. So we have
Rich Eisen Show poll questions.
AFC West. Who you got? Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders.
Broncos, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders.
Careful. Stone Street listens.
I'm going Broncos.
No.
It's my hot take as of today. I think they're ready to go. This
Broncos
is going to get
22%.
It's the Chiefs division. Still
Chiefs 54%.
Okay.
I don't. What happened to Mahomes last year? What happened to him in that game? Until I find that out, I'm going Broncos.
Next 5 years, one of these teams will win a Super Bowl. Who you got? Cowboys, Packers.
Oh, that's it. Next 5 years.
One of them will win. We're just anointing one. Which
Fine,
one?
Packers. If it's between the two of them.
75% Packers. Now, who comes out of the NFC with Rodgers sticking around? Packers, Rams, 49ers, Cowboys.
49ers with Tom Brady.
Jeez, everybody
thinks he's
going
going there.
What's your okay? So
Tom Brady heat check. Let's go.
TB12 heat check. We came up with this like many great ideas on this show off the top of our head yesterday on the air. TB12 heat check on a scale of 0 to 12. 0, he's running lines, doing Jello shots with Rita Moreno. He's got no chance. He's had no thought of coming back. 12, he's coming back. Where are you on the TB12 heat check right now?
I think.
What do you got?
I'm going to go 10. He's coming back.
10.
10 and 12.
Okay.
Florio is 11.997.
I think he's coming back. I mean, there's gas in the tank. I don't think you go out right now. I think you could go somewhere else.
Thanks for coming on. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.